We've discussed sleep paralysis before in our videos, its scientific explanation, and its spiritual explanation. In spiritualism, we believe that a living being is made up of three parts: mind, spirit, and body. However, when the mind and spirit wake up and the body does not, sleep paralysis occurs. We've also discussed how this state is a great setup for astral projection or astral travel, which means allowing your spiritual body to leave your physical body in that state, so you can roam around different places or even explore other dimensions. The best part is that it is safe to do so. Actually, there are 3 levels of experiences related to sleep and dreams in general. Level 1 is lucid dreaming. A lucid dream is when a person is aware that they are dreaming while the dream is happening. They can control aspects of the dream, such as the environment, actions, and even plot lines. Level 2 is sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis occurs when your mind wakes up, but your body is still in a paralyzed state, often as a result of REM sleep. It can be accompanied by hallucinations or a feeling of being trapped in your body. It is considered level 2 because although you're not yet fully out of the dream state, you're in a liminal space between sleep and wakefulness, where you can experience unusual phenomena, like seeing or hearing things that aren't there. Level 3 is astral travel or astral projection. Astral projection is the ability to consciously travel out of your body and into other realms, whether in the physical world or other dimensions, while your physical body remains in a state of rest. It's level 3 because, unlike sleep paralysis, it involves fully separating the spirit from the physical body in a controlled, intentional manner, often with the goal of exploring or gaining knowledge. Today, I'd like to share a fascinating story of someone who was consistently training with level 1, lucid dreaming, but accidentally transitioned into level 2, sleep paralysis, which resulted in fear and led him to quit his practices. I hope this video can show you that sleep techniques are trainable and can improve over time. If anyone wants to try in order to see beyond the physical, remember to not fear what you will see. Interestingly, the person who shared this story is actually a famous bodybuilder, actor, and YouTuber who enjoys exploring different techniques and experiences. I'll share some of his information below. For 4 months, Pigmie, one of the most recognizable bodybuilders and YouTubers around, was obsessed with lucid dreaming. Every night, he dedicated himself to mastering the art of being aware while asleep. He'd heard about the possibilities: flying, manipulating the dream world, and even doing the insane stunts that had always eluded him in real life. But his goal wasn't to just have fun in his dreams. No, Pigmie wanted to train in his sleep, specifically to improve his power moves and tricking skills in breakdancing. He believed that by creating stronger mind-muscle connections while dreaming, he could push his body further when awake. And by the way, he's not the only person who does that. Studies have shown that practicing a move in your head, like a meditation, can help you perform it better. Even just pseudo-practice, mental practice, can improve the actual movement if you imagine doing it. Many boxers do this while resting, imagining themselves throwing jabs and hooks to defeat their opponents. This is done in a more conscious state, so imagine how much more powerful it must be when done during lucid dreaming. It wasn't an overnight success. Sure, he'd had a few lucid dreams before, rare moments when he suddenly realized he was dreaming, but they were few and far between, maybe once or twice a year. But then, in 2012, with his passion for power moves and tricks burning bright, he was determined to make lucid dreaming a nightly practice. A quick search online revealed countless methods, and Pigmie dived right in. The first technique he tried was the reality check. This was simple. He'd test his reality during the day to see if he was awake or asleep. Some people would look at their hands, others would try clapping, or, as he learned from Inception, spin a top to see if it would fall. But for Pigmie, the key was to check his reality throughout the day. By making it a habit, he hoped that when he fell asleep, he would subconsciously know he was in a dream. The second method he used was just as powerful, setting an intention before bed. Every night as he lay down, he would repeat to himself, "I am going to lucid dream," over and over until his mind accepted the idea. Within just a few nights, it worked. He began having regular lucid dreams, and soon he found himself in one he'd never forget. In this dream, he found himself in an icy, bond-like bunker. The floor was white marble, and two suited figures walked toward a glowing light. It was surreal, but what hit him next was even more surreal. He realized he was dreaming. "This is it," he thought. And without hesitation, he jumped straight into his dream training. The move he'd been struggling with, in real life, the one-handed air flare, was now his focus. He'd tried hundreds of times in waking life, but it always ended in a crash. But here, in his dream, he had the chance to perfect it. As he tried the move, the sensation was almost real. His body felt lighter, more fluid, and when he executed the move, it felt right. For a moment, it seemed like he was on the verge of perfecting it. But then, in the excitement of success, the dream faded. He woke up. "No," he thought, frustrated, "I was so close." Every night after that was a variation of the same. Lucid dream, attempt a move, get too excited, wake up. It was maddening. His sleep quality started to deteriorate, and his experiments in dream training became more frustrating with each passing night. But despite the setbacks, there was a strange upside. The dream moves, no matter how brief, began to transfer to his waking life. He started feeling that same sensation from his dreams, that fluidity, when he practiced in reality. It was working, or at least it felt like it was, but there was something darker on the horizon. As the weeks went by, Pigmie's lucid dreams became more intense, and his sleep began to fracture. He began to wake up in a state of paralysis, unable to move, unable to escape the terrifying feeling of being trapped between sleep and wakefulness. And then one night, it happened. He was lucid dreaming again, practicing his one-armed air flare, when suddenly he was pulled awake, but he couldn't move. Panic set in as a dark shadow seemed to loom over him, and the sound of ragged, grimacing breathing filled the air. It was too real. His heart raced, but he couldn't escape. He was paralyzed. When he finally snapped out of it, the fear was overwhelming. What just happened, he wondered. After researching, he discovered the name for his experience: sleep paralysis. This phenomenon occurs when your brain awakens from REM sleep, but your body is still in a state of paralysis to prevent you from acting out your dreams. The catch: you're fully conscious and aware of the terrifying hallucinations around you. It was horrifying. This became his new reality. For months, every time he tried to lucid dream, sleep paralysis followed. It wasn't just an occasional occurrence, it was happening every night. The worst part was, the more he tried to avoid it, the more it seemed to happen. And soon, it wasn't just a random event, it was the new normal. He found himself struggling to sleep at all, terrified of what would happen next. By month 4, Pigmie was at his breaking point. He just wanted a normal night's sleep without the creeping dread of sleep paralysis. So he stopped trying to lucid dream. But oddly enough, that didn't stop the lucid dreams from coming. Without any effort, they started happening on their own. Only then, he was waking up in sleep paralysis every time. It was like the dream and reality had fused into an unrelenting nightmare. One night, during one of these unintended lucid dreams, he found himself on a college campus. Everything was in slow motion. A friend ran by, but everything about him, his skin, his eyes, his hair, was more detailed than anything he had ever seen. It was a beautiful, mind-bending experience, but it was also a reminder of how intense his dreams had become. And yet when he woke up, sleep paralysis followed. It wasn't until a change in environment, when Pigmie went back to college, that the episodes of sleep paralysis began to fade. Gradually, the frequency of these disturbing episodes dropped. Still, to this day, he experiences a few episodes each year, though now he knows how to handle them without panicking. In the end, Pigmie realized something crucial. While lucid dreaming had given him incredible insights into his own mind and body, it had also led him down a path he never intended to take. He doesn't want to try lucid dreaming again, not with the way it messed with his sleep and his mental health. His experience with sleep paralysis was enough to convince him to stay far away from intentional lucid dreaming for good. And that's why, when he looks back at his lucid dreaming journey, he's both amazed and thankful, but also a little relieved that it's behind him. But if you want to explore the pros of lucid dreaming, remember that there are also cons like sleep paralysis, and make sure you're ready to face them before you try. However, there are also benefits to sleep paralysis. For example, there are experts who were born with sleep paralysis and gradually discovered how to use it for astral projection. They've been able to do it regularly and have gained valuable insights into the spiritual realm. We'll share their stories in the future. Stay tuned.